All right, here's a quick rundown on how to create AI prompts in PhotoBooth Upload. First, go to the AI tab and you'll see it looks pretty similar to the other tabs like green screen or GIF, where you have the ability to enable or disable AI, and you can also have multiple prompts available to the guest with the user select option. Down at the bottom are all of the prompts that are currently available, along with a thumbnail that shows what the prompt looks like. This thumbnail will be created by you when you make your prompt. I have created all of these using the same guest image to make it easier to see how the prompt affects a single image. Then we have something specific to the AI creation tab, and that is this AI settings window, which has the output size, which is 512 by 512 by default, but can be increased to 720 by 720. But keep in mind that this will double the processing time and also increase the price per image generated. And below this is the variable list. We'll go over these variables more in a bit, but basically these are options that the guest can choose, which helps the AI create more accurate images while still staying within the style of the prompt. So let's look at one of these pre-made prompts and see how it works. We'll go back to the beginning and look at the punk prompt, which is also the thumbnail that you're seeing on the screen right now. So we double click on the punk option to open up the settings, and then the first two things we see are the name and thumbnail, which the guest will see if you have user select available with multiple prompts. For this one, I have punk as the name, and I created the thumbnail by running the prompt on a photo after I was happy with the settings. When you create your own custom thumbnail, you can then browse your files on your computer to find that photo, and it will show up as your prompt thumbnail. Next, we have the positive prompt. This is what you want the photo to look like. When creating a prompt, there are some things to keep in mind. AI is much better at styles and general concepts than it is at specifics and repeatable consistency. Part of the fun of AI is not knowing what it will create. If your client wants consistent, repeatable images, AI is not the best option for that. You can guide the AI, but the more you try to force something specific, the more it will start to hallucinate and give you completely unpredictable results. Also, AI works best when creating an image where the guest's face is larger in the frame, like a head and shoulders headshot. Full body shots generally do not have enough detail in the face for the AI to create a recognizable version of the person in the final image. Also, AI works best with one person. The more people you add to the photo, the more likely it will not only not look like the person, but it may also mix things up like gender, ethnicity, or other sensitive features. Speaking of things like gender and ethnicity, this is where our variables come into play. Artificial intelligence is an algorithm. It does not think like a human and does not automatically recognize things like a person's ethnicity. What it does is it takes in a block of randomly generated noise and then uses the prompt to come up with an image from that noise that most closely matches all of the images that were tagged with those words from the vast number of internet images it was trained on. So, by letting the guest select their preferred gender or other variables, you are narrowing down the images that are used from the training data to create the final image. In this example, we have a photorealistic photo of a, and then the variables ethnicity and gender, punk rocker. So, the guest will see a drop-down menu for each of these variables where they can select from a list of options or even write in their own. For example, I would select a Caucasian male, and so when this prompt gets sent for processing, it will say a photorealistic photo of a Caucasian male punk rocker, and so on and so forth. These variables are added by grabbing a variable from the list on the right and dragging it into the positive prompt box like this. Notice that the variable is case sensitive and surrounded by curly brackets. Don't confuse the curly brackets with open and closed parentheses. Parentheses are used by the AI to add emphasis to certain words or phrases in the prompts, where the curly brackets are used by PBU to indicate variables used in a prompt. Okay, so let's take a look at one of these variables. I'm going to click on the glasses variable because there's something a bit more unique with this, and that is using a blank variable to indicate no glasses. Now, my prompt was written as a photorealistic photo of a, and then ethnicity variable, gender variable, punk rocker, then the glasses variable. The guest can choose between glasses, sunglasses, and no glasses. If they choose glasses, we will add the words wearing glasses to the prompt. And the same if they choose sunglasses, we add wearing sunglasses to the prompt. But if they choose no glasses, we simply leave it blank. This is because if you add the words not wearing glasses to the prompt, AI might simply ignore the not and see the word glasses and just add glasses anyway. Remember, AI is not real intelligence. It's just an algorithm. So instead of hoping that it understands the phrase not wearing glasses, we simply leave it out. Now, when these variables are added to the prompt, if you select the glasses option, it will read punk rocker wearing glasses with whatever color hair and ripped punk clothes. If you select the no glasses option, it will simply say punk rocker with whatever color hair and ripped punk clothes. Now let's take a look at creating our own variable from scratch. Start by clicking the Add Variable button, then we're going to name our variable. We will call it eye color. Now I want to emphasize that eye color is one of the things that AI doesn't always understand even when it's specified, but we can add it anyway just as a demo to show how to create a new variable. When we create the variables, the words that we use in user options are what the guest will see and select from, and the words under prompt text are what we put into the actual prompt. Press the plus button to add a new prompt variable option, or the minus button to delete it if you don't want it. I'll speed through these inputs really quick, but the one I want to talk about is the text input button. When you use the text input button, the guest will be able to type in anything they want. I will use the word custom as the selectable word and then leave the prompt on the text side alone. Now let's go back to the Punk edit screen and add that variable to the prompt. Right now, we end with the word photorealistic face. I'm going to simply add the word and then a space, then drag the eye color variable up, and then I will click at the end and add another space and type the word eyes. There is no need to add a period. The only punctuation that is used in an AI prompt is the comma, which is used to separate ideas. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is the negative prompt. Negative prompts are not 100% necessary, but it can help to improve the quality of your AI outputs. It's generally okay to use the same negative prompt for most of your prompt options. The exception would be if you were trying to make a cartoon style prompt, you probably would not want to add cartoon in your negative prompt because that would go against the style you were trying to create. Also, I want to point out that AI is not great at making hands. So even though I'm telling it not to create deformed hands here, it will likely still create some crazy alien multi-figured acid trip hands anyway if hands are visible in the shot. I just put this here in the hopes that maybe it will help a little bit. Now, if we go up to the AI adjustments window, we have 4 different settings to adjust, starting with the denoise strength, then CFG scale, and then 2 different control nets. As I said earlier, AI creates images by taking randomly generated noise and adjusting the pixels until it most closely matches the images from the dataset it was trained on that contain the metadata words that were used in the prompt you provided. What this denoise strength value does is it adds a percentage of random noise to the guest image that it will then use to denoise or create the final image. So if you set this value lower, it will add less noise and it will do less manipulation to the original image. If you set it up to 100, it will use 100% random noise and none of the original guest image as the starting point. For this prompt, I prefer to use 65% denoise strength, but feel free to play with this value and find one that works for the look you prefer. Next is the CFG scale, which you can think of as how much emphasis will be given to the prompt. We allow low, medium, and high. I generally use the medium for most of my prompts, but feel free to experiment and find a value that works best for you. The next 2 control nets use the original guest image to guide the AI as it creates the new image. The way they control the AI is a bit too complex to explain fully in this webinar, but we will use their actual names so you can easily Google them and learn what they are doing in the background. In the most simplistic explanation, they are both using the original photo to influence the look of the final result. The settings you are able to set for each of these are balanced, my prompt is more important, and control net is more important. Balanced gives equal priority to both the prompt and the original image. My prompt is more important, gives more priority to the prompt and less to the original image. And control net is more important, gives more priority to the original image and less to the prompt. Now that we have created our prompts, we can run them on a pre-existing photo to create a thumbnail. You can also just take your own picture with a normal PBU interface, but I like to use the same picture for testing to better see how small adjustments to my prompts or variables affects the final output. It's also best to test with an image that uses the same or similar background to the one you'll use at your event, because that will give you a better idea of how the style will look at your event. If you're testing with pictures taken from a laptop webcam against a white wall, but your event will use a large floral background like the one I used in these thumbnails, the outputs will be wildly different. To use an existing photo, I simply add a 512 by 512 resolution photo to a green screen background and then set the green screen threshold to 100%, so only the background photo will be visible. Now when we go to the guest-facing user interface, we can select AI, and we will see all of the prompts that we have enabled for this user select option. I'm going to go ahead and select punk, and then I get to choose the variable options. For this photo, I will set gender to female, hair color to green because it's a punk image, so we can go a little crazy, glasses to no glasses, ethnicity to Latin, and eye color to brown. Then I hit next and take the photo. The original photo can be sent right away, and then the AI processed photo will show up in your watched folder, usually within 1 to 2 minutes, and then it can be sent via kiosk. Finally, let me show you how the user input variable option works. Remember, for eye color, we set a custom variable option. So if we choose that, we get a text box that we can then type in to set whatever color we want. So that is how you create your own AI prompt or modify one of the preset ones that we have already created for you. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.